Bandits attack Kaduna community, kill 6 persons. Adamawa state government extends school holiday over measles outbreak. Kanu's Inquiry Commission on Political Violence begins sitting. And on the foreign scene, Kenya floods. Death toll tops 200. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. Bandits Sunday night killed 6 persons after an attack on Ambe community in Sanga local government area of Kaduna State. The spokesperson of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mansir Hassan, who confirmed the incident, said one suspect has been arrested in connection with the attack. According to Hassan, police operatives from Sanga Divisional Police Station and troops of Operation Safe Haven, upon getting a distress call, rushed to the community and engaged the bandits in a gun duel, during which one of the bandits was arrested, while the rest escaped into the forest with bullet wounds. Meanwhile, the member representing Jamaa Sanga Federal Constituency, Daniel Amos, in a statement said 6 people were killed in the attack, while 8 others sustained injuries and are receiving medical treatment at the hospital. While condemning the latest attack aimed at destabilizing the peace and security in his constituency, the federal lawmaker called on all residents of Sanga local government area to remain calm and peaceful as they work towards finding a lasting solution to the insecurity in the area. And joining us now via phone is Daily Trust reporter Ali Rabiu to speak on the latest incident.
Oh.
Ali, are you there?
Hello? Yes, yes.
All right. What more have we learned about this attack? Bring us up to date.
Okay, according to an eyewitness that invaded the community on motorbike. Yes, and opened fire on a particular house where a birthday celebration was taking place. But nobody was killed except those sitting around some shop. That was near the residence. Yeah.
So what has been the reaction of the authorities in the state?
Yes, so when I called the top person of the Terminal Police Command, ASP Hassan Mansour didn't respond to my call. But later he released a statement. Yeah, he said, hello?
So give us an understanding of the security situation in the affected area.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. I'm asking you, what is the understanding of the security situation in the affected area?
You know, the area was in Sanga local government and particularly the Arraigns chiefdom. It's one of the peaceful chiefdoms and local government in southern part of Kaduna State. So the attack
I'm afraid we've lost Ali Rabiu, our correspondent, on this latest incident, as it were. We will bring you up to date in subsequent telecasts. The Department of State Service, DSS, has arraigned one Jamilu Ibrahim, a native of Zurmi local government area of Zamfara State, before a federal high court, Kanu, for being in possession of 837 rounds of live ammunition and 4 rocket-propelled grenades, RPG charges, contrary to the provisions of Firearms Act and Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition. The suspect, who was arrested in Gano village of Warawa local government area of Kano State, is also accused of supplying weapons to bandits in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. The suspect pleaded not guilty to all the charges read out to him in court. His lawyer, Mutala Isa, asked the court to grant the suspect bail pursuant to the provisions of sections 158 and 162 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. However, Prosecution Counsel Hassana Habib Hassan objected to the bail application, arguing that by nature of the offense and the charges against the suspect, the respondent may jump bail to evade trial if granted bail. Justice Abdullahi Muhammad Liman refused the bail application and instead ordered accelerated hearing in the matter. In the meantime, a woman, Jamila Shuaibu Armayau, a native of Birane village of Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state, has opened her defense before Justice Muhammad Yunusa of the Federal High Court. She was arrested in June 2023 for being in possession of live ammunition and 3 RPG launchers near Police Academy, Wudil. Justice Yunusa fixed June 24th for adoption of final written addresses in the case. In the meantime, the Adamawa state government has ordered the immediate closure of all public and private schools following the outbreak of measles in the region. The decision, which was announced on Monday, aims to mitigate the spread of the disease and enable the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency to vaccinate the vulnerable age group. In a statement signed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development, Aisha Omar, the ministry rescheduled the school resumption date to Monday, May 13th, 2024. The statement further directed all public and private schools to comply with the directive. Since the outbreak has already claimed the lives of 42 children in the state, the government says it is taking the necessary measures to contain the disease and prevent further casualties. Joining us now via Zoom is the Adamawa State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Garba Umar. Dr. Garba, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good to have me here.
Well, take us through the decision to suspend school activities across primary schools in the state. What steps are you taking to curtail this outbreak?
Well, the decision is to suspend the school resumption is predicated on the fact that the measles outbreak is virtually becoming more of an epidemic that must be curtailed. And as I speak now, already we have a recorded case of 3 children across state and close to 200 patients in the hospital. So we thought the best way it's not wise at this time. We have signed up to protect the lives of our citizens to allow these children to resume school in this situation. So that is what informed the decision. The strategic plan for containing it is has been on. The Minister of Health and the Primary Health Development Agency taking the lead to that every child in Adamawa State is vaccinated before next week. They have been on it, and they have also given us the assurance that before the end of the week, they would have covered most households in the state. So it's taken in good faith. This decision is taken in good faith in order that every child stays at home and gets vaccinated.
Would you say that this 2 weeks extension is enough to guarantee safety when the schools reopen?
Yes, that is the assurance we got from the lead agency that is handling the vaccination. Actually, I've been on it even before now. The only thing is that they still have some grounds to cover before the end of the week. So they have given us this assurance, and we are home with it.
So according to reports, the outbreak is mostly in the northern parts of the state. So why are you closing down schools across the state?
The truth about it is that there's no restriction to where the outbreak is taking place, and it's not just in the northern part. There are local governments even in the central zone of Mubi, of Hong, Gombe, and Song. And there are others also in Mayabalua, in Lamurde, in the southern part. So it's all over the state. Initially, that was the thinking we had. But within the week, when our surveillance team went out, we realized that the case is much more than what we were imagining before. So really, it's all over the state. It's not just restricted to the northern zone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umar, for bringing us up to date on the measles situation in Adamawa State. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you for me.
The Commission of Inquiry set up by the Kano State government to probe cases of alleged political violence and missing persons from 2015 to 2023 on Monday began sitting. At the inaugural sitting, the Commission chairperson, Justice Zuwaira Yusuf, called on civil society organizations as well as victims and relatives of victims of political violence and missing persons to submit memoranda or petitions. She urged the public and the media in particular to give the Commission the maximum support while affirming that the Commission will discharge its assigned mandates diligently and without fear or ill will. The Commission chairman said the Commission will also investigate the rampant cases of missing persons and to make recommendations for an enduring solution to the issues of politically motivated violence and missing children.
I would also like to further assure the people of Kano State that this Commission will discharge its assigned mandates diligently, fairly, dispassionately, and without fear or ill will. The terms of reference of the commissions are as follows: to find out the root causes of political and other forms of violence in Kano State, to identify areas where violence associated with the 2015, 2019, and the 2023 general elections occurred in Kano State, to identify sponsors and perpetrators of political and other forms of violence during and in between elections in Kano State, or to identify all missing persons in the state and determine the circumstances as well as the immediate and remote causes of their missing. 5, to identify victims of all forms of violence, including politically motivated, state-sponsored, etc., associated with the 2015, 2019, and the 2023 general elections.
And still staying in Kano State, an appeal division of the Kano State High Court has commenced hearing on the case of Sheikh Abdul Jabbar Nasiru Kabara, who was sentenced to death by hanging by the Upper Sharia Court, Kofar Kudu. Abdul Jabbar was found guilty of defaming the personality of Prophet Muhammad by Justice Ibrahim Sarkiola. When the case came up on Monday for mention, the counsel for the appellant, Sadiq Yusuf, informed the court of his readiness for the hearing. The counsel for the Kano State government, Bashir Salih, sought an adjournment, saying he was not ready. Counsel for the appellant then requested a 20 million naira cost against the respondents for wasting the appellant's time. However, counsel for the respondents objected to the request, stating that they were served with the court processes in March and not February, as claimed by the appellant's counsel. Consequently, the request for cost was withdrawn by the counsel for the appellant. The case was adjourned to May the 9th, 2024 for hearing. A fire outbreak has destroyed some sections of the Mundubawa country home of Kano State former Governor Ibrahim Shekarau, destroying valuables worth millions of naira. It was gathered that the fire was suspected to have emanated from the kitchen and spread to other parts of the building. The incident occurred Sunday evening, and it took the efforts of the operatives of the State Fire Service to bring the fire under control. Confirming the incident, the Public Relations Officer of the State Fire Service Command, Samini Yusuf Abdullahi, said the incident has destroyed many parts of the house. He said 2 rooms, 2 kitchens, 2 sitting rooms, 2 stores, a sitting room, a central sitting room, a corridor, and toilet have all been destroyed by the fire. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Prices of food items, especially grains, have again surged after a significant drop that lasted for about 2 weeks at various grains markets across Katsina State. Foodstuffs affected by the price increase include maize, local rice, millet, and guinea corn, as well as other grains, especially in Dandume, Bakori, Katsina, and May Adua Grains Market. Abdullahi Yamadi completes that report.
Few weeks ago, the price of white maize at Dandume stood at 52,000 naira per 75 kilogram bag, while the price of the red maize dropped to 55,000 naira from 68,000 naira. In the same vein, the price of guinea corn few weeks ago was 55,000 naira, but it later dropped to 45,000 naira, while a 100 kilogram bag of local rice went for 130,000 naira, even as a bag of soya beans was sold at 58,000 naira. At the moment, the prices of assorted grains such as maize, local rice, beans, guinea corn, millet, and sorghum have rose by 35% from the initial prices they were sold 2 weeks ago, a situation dealers attributed to a further fall of the naira to the dollar, as well as the recent scarcity of fuel, which jacked up the transport fares. This is one of the major grains markets in Katsina State. Some of the issues affecting this business is insecurity, naira devaluation, and uncontrolled fuel price increase. We hope the government will, as a matter of urgency, control fuel price to make life easier for Nigerians.
The price is increasing fast. Once you buy grains, before you come and buy another one, the price will double. What caused this problem is the issue of insecurity, because majority of people don't have opportunity to harvest their farms inside the bush as a result of these bandits.
In another development, traders are making reference to the price of foreign goods such as rice and noodles, which are dropping in some northwestern states due to decline in the exchange rate of Niger and other Francophone countries' currencies. The price of maize as at Monday, May 6, is 68,000 naira against the 52,000 naira it was sold few weeks ago, while millet and sorghum sell for 60 and 54,000 naira respectively.
Because the CFA has decreased, and I've seen that the rice start increasing because the CFA still is start increasing because of the dollar. Now the dollar is down.
Observers say prices of food items may continue to fluctuate, leaving many Nigerians unable to afford some if fuel prices remain where they stand at the moment, while the product remains scarce. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Presidential Committee on the African Intercontinental Free Trade Area has highlighted Nigeria's potential to thrive in the global market. The committee stated this during their visit to Jigawa State. Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi in Dutse. Here's that report.
According to the team, Nigeria's resource-rich landscape, particularly at the grassroots level, positions it favorably within the African Intercontinental Free Trade Area. The team leader, Olusegun Olutayo, emphasized the AfCFTA's role in providing a platform for Africans producing countries to tap into expensive markets for high-demand products.
So in the context of market, there's what we call Kiremi market. And then there's what we call Babankazwa. AFCFTA is the Babankazwa. So if there is a market that anyone should take advantage of, it is the Babankazwa of AFCFTA. Because it's a market of 1 billion people. Statistics has given us 1.2 billion market and of GDP going into trillions. So we don't need the entire billion. It's just a slice of the cake of that market that we believe the Jigawa people, the great people of Jigawa, can take advantage of.
Jigawa State, renowned for its cultivation of crops like purple hibiscus, sesame seeds, and gum arabic, holds immense promise for meeting the needs of other African nations. Governor Umar Namadi underscored the importance of seizing this opportunity to bolster the state's economy.
We are not saying, okay, relax the law. No. But look at the possibility of giving everybody its own opportunity. Even by law, the SMEs have a different rule. Their capital base is different. Their manpower requirement is different. Their registration process is different. So you cannot say, okay, these SMEs with Dangote, they should also have the same requirement. Certainly no.
Governor Namadi stressed that IFTA presents not just an avenue for investment, but a catalyst for accelerated growth and development in Jigawa. He advocated for the inclusion of over 4,000 small and medium enterprises as beneficiaries of the IFTA program to propel the nation's economy forward.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, 14 years on, Nigerians celebrate the legacy of late Umar Musa Yar'Adua. More news when we return. Do stay. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Another look at our top stories. Bandits attack Kaduna community, kill 6 persons. And Adamawa state government extends school holiday over measles outbreak. The federal government has debunked reports making the rounds that it is considering citing foreign military bases in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a post on X, formerly Twitter, urged the public to disregard the falsehood. Idris in the post said the federal government is not in any such discussion with any foreign country, adding that government has neither received nor is considering any proposals from any country on the establishment of any foreign military bases in Nigeria. He noted that the Nigerian government already enjoys foreign cooperation in tackling ongoing security challenges, adding that the president remains committed to deepening these partnerships to achieve the national security objectives of the Renewed Hope agenda. On the position of the northern stakeholders on the purported move to have foreign military bases in Nigeria, one of the signatories of the open letter, Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, sat down with Manir Dang Ali to shed light on their concerns. Have a listen.
It's a story we've been following very closely since the crisis developed in West Africa and the French were chased out of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. And they said they will not be chased out, but they were gradually forced out. After that, the Americans were chased out, are now being chased out of Niger. So between France and the United States, they have 2,600 troops in Niger only that have to move out. And there's an issue of where they will relocate them. The Americans have their largest drone base in the world in Agadez, which is in northern Niger, and now they've been told to pack out. So we have seen moves by the Americans to come to the Gulf of Guinea and talk to countries to renegotiate a new base deal that will allow them move their troops. Specifically, we have information that they are discussing with the Côte d'Ivoire, and this week's Jeune Afrique has a special revelation on that.
Yes, Jeune Afrique, the magazine.
Yes, the magazine, yeah. Then there have been...
But Nigeria hasn't been mentioned so far.
Yes, I'm coming. Then they've been talking to the Ghanaians We know that because there was a motion in the parliament in Ghana on the matter. And we do have reports that they've been talking to Nigeria. We don't have information whether they've reached an agreement or whether the Nigerian government has accepted whatever proposals are being made, but we know they have reached out to Nigeria.
Is it through back channels or to direct officials of the Nigerian government?
Back channels.
You can watch the full discussion on 30 minutes. Stakeholders in Nigeria's political space on Monday gathered to remember the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, who died on the 5th of May 2011. The ex-Katsina State Governor served as the President of Nigeria from 2007 to 2010 and is the 13th Nigerian President. It was against this backdrop that stakeholders in Nigeria's political and leadership sphere gathered to reminisce on his legacy and emulative style of leadership. Noel Sampson has more on that report.
Born on the 16th of August 1951, the late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua's governance and leadership qualities were said to be sterling, profound, and legendary. And his administration grew the economy, stabilized the polity, and held Nigerians together seamlessly.
President Yar'Adua, it was who established the presidential amnesty program for Niger Delta. Hitherto, the creation of this special program, oil production and sales, which accounted for more than 90% of this country's oil reserve. Let me say that his various such activities, like the amnesty program that he brought about in Niger Delta area, which ensures that at least our economy is being protected.
Well, Yar'Adua was a pious man. He was very pious. He was a listening leader. He had that nature of Aminu Kanu. And so he was a man of the people. He was a grassroots person.
So the challenge is for us today as young Nigerians. We must imbibe those values, those characters that late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua represented: integrity, honesty.
They urged Nigerians to shun identity politics and be hopeful that Nigeria will be great again.
And so if we need to have another leadership that will be in the mode of Umar Musa Yar'Adua, it cannot happen by mistake the way it's happened. It's not every time you'll be lucky to have a Moses out of the household of Pharaoh. We need a deliberate movement towards pulling back the rubbish of identity politics and practice pragmatic politics that can unite us around a common cause for national development.
One thing we as Nigerians need to understand, and quickly so, is the fact that we need to make a shift from a number of perceptions we hold on our nation. Some people feel, no, Nigeria can never be, alright with ourselves, and the mode of doing business and everything, that corruption is too much. No.
The ex-president, who was the first governor to publicly declare his assets, while his administration saw various developments in the state, which became the 5th northern state to adopt Sharia or Islamic law. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And on the political scene, some members of the All Progressives Congress from the North Central Zone have dragged its national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, to court, praying it to sack the national chairman for allegedly holding the position unlawfully. The APC North Central Forum filed a suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja Monday, insisting that the position of national chairman at the current instance is for the North Central Geopolitical Zone, adding that Ganduje, who is from the Northwest, should be removed for the rightful person from Nasarawa State or North Central Zone to be elected. This group of APC stakeholders based in Plateau State maintained that the party is bound to comply with its constitutional procedure on the replacement of high-ranking executives in the event of a vacancy.
The court should mandate INEC to mandate the party, the APC, to fill in that slot, getting somebody from Nasarawa State to be a national chairman of the party, and also asking the court to restrain the current chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, from parading himself forthwith as the national chairman of the party, because his appointment as a national chairman is illegal, ultra-virus, and void, and it's of no effect whatsoever. And if the party continues like that, all what has been done by the party under the chairmanship of Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje will null and void, including the primaries conducted in Ondo State, in Edo State, and it will have far-reaching effect on the party. So that's why we're here. We want the party to retrace the steps and do what is just and equitable and what is legal.
Simply, we need zoning to our zone. We need that zoning arrangement to be passed back to the zone, which is earlier scheduled to. They have zoned it to North Central. Let that due process be followed. There is calls that we and appeals. We make so much appeal. So there is no any action has been taken. That is why we are here to seek for justice and fairness.
The political face-off between Governor Fubara and the Rivers State House of Assembly is showing no signs of reprieve as the House is tackling the governor over the state's public procurement law. At plenary on Monday, the Speaker of the House, Martin Amewule, accused the governor of financial irresponsibility and recklessness in the way he spent money without appropriation. One of the items on the agenda for the day's sitting was the governor's handling of state's finances, which the Speaker condemned. The Deputy Speaker, Dumle Mao, asked his colleagues to veto the governor on the State Public Procurement Amendment Bill. Of particular concern was the issue of Emoha local government, where the staff are yet to be paid their March salaries. The Speaker signaled the passage of the second reading of the Rivers State Public Procurement Amendment Bill 2024. The last veto is coming on the heels of 5 previous vetoes, during which the Assembly overrode the governor to enact the laws. Reacting to this development, Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara described the actions of the State Assembly as unacceptable, citing a breach in the agreement brokered by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the political tension in the state lingers.
And what I'm saying is because of what my senior said here, restraint. I don't think the other party has shown any restraint. I am the one that have shown restraint in the face of this thing. I'm the one that is badly heated. Even when I have all the instrument, government instrument, to cause the disaster. But why would I do it? This is a relationship that you eat together, you drink together. Why would I forget those things? So even when I act knowing fully well that there's a relationship which is bigger and greater than any other thing. Politics will come, politics will go. But what is most important is your relationship, how you're being perceived after power. It doesn't last forever. It's something that stays for a while. It's a transit or whatever. After which it will go. This is not the first time. Today, our father, they say former, is it not? How many years? He had his time. Maybe at that time people say, oh, it might be forever. So if you understand that, no matter how you look at it, whether one way or the other, it starts and it ends. It teaches you a lesson about life. Things that my commissioners ought to do when they hide the information from me. He calls me to tell me this. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm working with my own enemies. Imagine where your commissioner, your attorney general will go to sabotage you. It's as bad as that. But they will get their reward. Not in this world, in this world.
In another development, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agbebaku, on Monday suspended 3 lawmakers over an alleged plot to impeach him and other principal officers of the Assembly. One of the suspended lawmakers, Donald Okogbe of the PDP, who represents Akoko Edo II, is an ally of the impeached Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu, and was the only lawmaker who did not sign the petition that led to Shuaibu's impeachment. The 2 others are Ade Emanku Isibo, APC Esan Northeast 1, and Iyamu Bright, PDP Orionwon 2. Agbebaku also accused the trio of bringing native doctors to the House on May the 1st at around 1 o'clock in the morning to perform a sacrifice. Agbebaku said the 3 lawmakers were suspended indefinitely, alleging that external forces were influencing them to cause chaos and remove the House's leadership. The suspension of the lawmakers, however, created tension in the House as the affected lawmakers kicked against their suspension. The governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, has called on the Nigerian media to hold public office holders and the society at large accountable to achieve good governance. The governor stated this at an event to commemorate this year's World Press Freedom Day. Also present at the event was the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who reaffirmed the government's commitment to safeguarding press freedom, promoting diverse opinions, and protecting the rights of journalists. The national president of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Christopher Isiguzo, called on governments at all levels to support journalists in their quest to bring about good governance in the society.
We all have a role to play in democracy. And democracy must be fought for. Democracy must be defended. Good governance is a very simple way of defending democracy. I remain indebted to this organization and to all people of goodwill out there who are at the tenet and different platforms of defending democracy.
Democracy can never thrive without free press. So even when political leaders tell you that they want to ensure that there's press freedom, it is important for you to remind us all the time that indeed the press needs to be free so that everyone will enjoy the dividends of democracy.
In every corner of our nation, journalists are unsung heroes, the torchbearers of truth and freedom. Tonight, as we gather to honor the brave men and women who have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of truth, justice, and freedom, is an opportunity for us to reaffirm our commitment to press freedom and good governance.
I strongly believe that for a viral, vibrant, and free press to thrive in any nation, including our country, Nigeria, there is the need for an enabling legal environment and efficient judicial system. This realization underpins the commitment of the 10th Assembly House of Representatives to the review of moribund media laws in order to bring them in tandem with modern realities and democratic ethos and principles.
The Imo State Command of the Nigeria Police has put in place an additional special unit to tackle the issue of insecurity around schools in the state. The initiative is geared towards curbing most of the social vices that occur in schools across the state. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise has details of this report.
For most of the students, the development is heartwarming and welcome, as the fear and apprehension that often come with Mondays due to the call for sit-at-home by non-state actors will gradually be put to rest. There are reported cases where students were waylaid and flogged for not obeying the sit-at-home order by pro-Biafra agitators. In some instances, teachers were not spared each time they invade schools. These unpatriotic activities have in no small measure disrupted the learning process for many students in the state, especially those in the hinterlands.
I feel amazed
because with atmosphere filled with happiness, I welcome and I'm also in gratitude with each and every one of them, and I also welcome them because of it's an honor. It's really a big honor to welcome them into our school. So I'm really happy to see each and every one of them here.
As we learned today, this is the Safer School workshop. They had to give us a secure and conducive learning environment. So I think that we're going to rely more on the police. Like they said, they are friends. So we're going to rely more on them to secure us and keep us safe.
So all we need to do now is now take the teaching that we have received from them and carry it out the way they want. And we know that by doing that, the moment we call them, because there is difficulty that we normally have before. I think this time has been quite good. Because normally by the time we get out of school, run to the police station, the time we'll be in our school and we'll just give them signal they will come.
Launching the unit at Owerri City Primary School, the Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, said the move follows the directives of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who mandated that maximum security be provided to students in all schools.
It's aimed at protecting the schools, that is from the primary school, secondary school, and tertiary school, from being attacked by men of the underworld and cultism. And he has provided enough gadgets in about 5 schools in Owerri and beyond. And as if there will be any attacks, any distress, will be informed, and we are going to know. We have motorcycles on ground, we have personnel on ground that we're going to secure all the schools in the state.
With the launch of the School Protection Squad, it is hoped that most schools in the state will now resume full activities on Mondays without any fear of molestation. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Up next, Yusuf Akogu with Business News.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. The federal government has approved a downward review of electricity tariff for Band A customers from 225 naira per kilowatt to 206 naira per kilowatt. The figure represents 8.1% reduction. A public notice by the Ikeja Electric stated that the reduction was contained in the May 2024 supplementary order. It added that the tariff for bands B, C, D, and E remains unchanged. NEC had in April approved an upward review from Band A customers from 68 naira to 266 naira. A move it called service reflective price to improve liquidity in the power sector. The increase made it mandatory for discos to ensure customers under the band get at least 20 hours of power supply daily. Subscribers to the micro pension scheme have begun to withdraw down on their contributions through contingency withdrawals. Pension data showed that the contingent withdrawals by micro pension contributors in 2023 increased by 245.2% to 21.4 million naira from 6.2 million naira recorded in 2022. The number of contributors that made contingent withdrawals increased by 68.4% to 64 in 2023 from 38 recorded in 2022. The Macro Pension Plan MPP was created by the National Pension Commission to encourage low-income groups, mainly self-employed and informal sector workers, to have pension savings for their old age. The race among Taiwan banks to retain their 1 trillion naira capitalization has intensified amid challenges in April for the banking sector trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Despite their strong position in the market, including robust market capitalizations exceeding 1 trillion naira, major banking stocks posted declines on a month-to-date basis last month. NGS revealed that the Taiwan banks saw their bank's capitalization decline by the end of April. The breakdown showed that Access Bank, Nigeria's largest bank by assets, saw its market cap drop to 598.1 billion naira, despite total assets exceeding 32 trillion naira and net asset value of 2.54 trillion naira. UBA market cap fell to 817.3 billion naira. FBN Holdings witnessed a market cap peak above 1 trillion naira in early April, only to decline to 857.8 billion naira by month end. And JITCO faced a similar dip but made a comeback within the first week of May as its price share recorded growth. Equity segment of the NGS opened a week's trading in red due to profit taken by investors. Let's see how it went down today, this Monday, the first trading day for the week. Of course, some of the top losing equities that dragged down the market are Airtel Africa, down 10% to close at 1,980 naira per share. The Ikeja Hotel also down 9.92% to close at 6 naira and 54 kobo per share. Of course, IMG ended on negative side of the market, 9.82%. It ended to close at 12 naira and 40 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the market by 0.89%. If you look at volume of trade, 421.727 million shares valued at 8.953 billion naira in a list of 10,622. These exchanges among investors this Monday. Of course, the all share index is still way behind 100,000 basis points as it were there. Let's look at the top trading equities at the close of business today. Access Corporation there, 297.20 million shares, the highest trading equities for the day. UBA, 40.198 million shares. Of course, Gisco, 35.107 million shares. Indeed, the banking sector affair again, we have this Monday. Of course, some equities recorded gain. Leading that table is Cornerstone, an insurance company, gained 10% to close at 1 naira and 98 kobo per share. Guineans also up there, 10% to close at 33 kobo per share. Of course, Presco also closed on the positive side of the market, 9.97%, 278 naira per share. The price ended today. That is the highlight of stock trading as it went out this Monday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market for today. Now to the FX market. US dollar firmed up against the Naira at both official and parallel markets on Monday. Here are today's market data. Oil futures climbed on Monday after Saudi Arabia hiked June crude prices for most regions as the prospect of a Gaza ceasefire deal appeared slim, renewing fears that Israel-Hamas conflict could still widen in the key oil-producing region. At the London market, European Brent sells for $83 per barrel. For the oil basket, price dipped to $84 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akobu.
Thank you, Yusuf. Away from Nigeria, the death toll in Kenya's devastating floods has risen to at least 228. 72 people are currently reported missing and 164 have been wounded. The government spokesman, Isaac Mwaura, on Sunday said more than 223,000 people have been affected by the floods. Authorities continue to enforce the evacuation order that was issued on May the 2nd. In Nairobi County alone, 163,210 residents have been evacuated from riverine areas as the government arranged alternative accommodation. This figure accounts for forcible or voluntary evacuations. Mwara insisted that the country remains safe for tourism, even as holiday makers and staff were evacuated from the Masai Mara National Reserve in southwestern Kenya last week. Israel's military has ordered tens of thousands of people in the southern Gaza city of Rafah to evacuate, a signal that a long-expected ground invasion could be imminent. The evacuation order comes as indirect ceasefire talks between Israel and the Palestinian group Hamas appear to stall amid intense disagreements between the warring sides. The United States and Qatar which have been mediating the talks along with Egypt, were expected to hold discussions on Monday in Doha. But state-linked media in Egypt said the ceasefire talks had stalled after a rocket attack killed 4 Israeli soldiers on Sunday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to send ground forces into Rafah to attack Hamas fighters regardless of any truce, despite key allies, the United States, other countries and aid groups raising concerns over a humanitarian crisis in the city. The Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, has condemned the Israeli army's forced unlawful evacuation order in Rafah, saying it could lead to the deadliest phase of the conflict. Israel has described Rafah as the last significant Hamas stronghold after 7 months of war, and its leaders have repeatedly said they need to carry out a ground invasion to defeat its fighters. It's time now to join Emmanuel Fashemi for the latest in sports.
Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, will leave the shores of Abuja for Bamako on Wednesday ahead of their FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against Burkina Faso. The Flamingos, who trashed Soccer Talent Academy 9-1 in Abuja in their first friendly game, will face the Burkinabe under-17 women's team on Saturday, 11th May 2024. Speaking after the match, Coach Bankole Olowokere pointed out the areas the technical crew must work on before jetting out of the country. Nigeria has appeared at every edition of the FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup finals, starting from the 2008 finals stage in Uruguay. Nigeria's men and women's 4x100 meter relay squads have successfully secured their tickets to the Paris Olympic Games on impressive notes at the World Relays in the Bahamas. Spurred by the disappointment of not securing their spots in Paris on day one, the teams maximized their repechage opportunity with near-perfect performance to get the job done and ensure Nigeria will leave with 4 out of 5 tickets from the Bahamas. Kicking off an outstanding night for Team Nigeria, where the women's 4x100 meter quartet of Tiana Eyakbobenye, Favour Philly, Olanyika Olajide, and Tima Godbless, who won their race in a season best of 42.71 seconds. Ofili led the team to victory with an outstanding second leg fastest split time of 10.02 seconds, which was enough for Olajide to build on, while Godbless head on to the finish line ahead of Switzerland. Shortly after the race, the young leader of the team couldn't hold back her tears of joy, knowing the team now had a guaranteed spot in Paris. Similarly, the men's quartet of Udodio Onwuzirike, Consider Ekanem, Alaba Akintola, and Carlington Anunagba, who replaced Sheyi Ogunlewe, did enough to also seal their tickets behind Ghana in 38.57 seconds. By doing this, Nigeria will leave the World Relays with 4 qualified relay teams for the Olympics, made up of men and women's 4x100 meter relays team, 4x400 meter relay men, and mixed 4x400 meters relay team. The only team with no qualification is the women's 4x400 meter relay team, which did not start due to unforeseen circumstances. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for bringing us up to date on how well Nigeria is doing across the world. And with that, we have come to the end of the News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. My name is Eugenia Abu on behalf of all the team behind the scene. Good night.